Okay, so in this video we're moving on talking about how to make the inverse of a function. So we're going to be undoing a function and creating a new function called the inverse. Now again, at the top here, we have a math book definition. If that's a little confusing for you, no big deal. All I'm really concerned about is, do you know how to actually follow along with my example and do problems similar to it, okay? Of course, if you want to know what this math book definition means, if that's something important to you and you can't figure it out, come talk to me, okay? No big deal. All right, so a relation is a mapping of input values on the output values. Typically we call our inputs our x's, our outputs are typically called y's. That's just how it is most of the time, but it doesn't have to be that way all the time. An inverse relation kind of does the opposite. What we're going to do is map the outputs back onto their original inputs. And essentially what this means is our x's are going to become our y's, and our y's are going to become our x's. We're flip-flopping. We're switching x and y, switching the inputs and the outputs. So let's do an example. Here's what the graph of our original relation might look like. Here's the graph of the inverse relation. You might notice that there's a reflection across the line of y equals x. Again, this is more of a math book kind of thing, so if this doesn't make sense to you, no big deal if you want to fast forward to the actual example where we make an inverse. But there is a graphical relationship that's important, okay? But it's not the most important. Pretty much to find an inverse of a relationship, we're going to start by switching x and y, and then getting the y by itself. That's going to create our new inverse function. So let's do an example. So I want to find the inverse of the equation y equals 2x minus 4. Anytime I ask you to find the inverse, your first step is to switch x and y. And I mean this literally. We started with y equals 2x minus 4. After I switch x and y, I have x equals 2y minus 4. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is to get y by itself. So plus 4 plus 4. So 2y falls down, equal falls down. X plus 4, those are not like terms, so just bring both of those down. And now finally I need to get y by itself. This is 2y, which means multiplication. To undo multiplication, we have to divide on both sides. Now, there's more than one piece that was already over here, so I want to be sure to put that in parentheses to kind of emphasize that those two pieces were there first, and they're stuck together no matter what. So x plus 4, those things stuck together, get divided by 2. So our final answer is going to be x plus 4 inside the parentheses. Do not forget those. Divided by 2 is equal to y. And this equation right here, that's our inverse. And that's really all it is. Switch x and y, get y by itself in that order. And this was a pretty basic example, but even when we get a little bit farther in the course, we can find the inverse of more challenging equations by doing the same thing. Switch x and y, and then get y by itself. That's it.